everybody? Lord Tremendous here. Got another battle report here for you. Sorry it's been so long. I went on vacation and doing the shift and everything like that, and I'm finally getting to a battle report that I did over a month ago. Well, a game I played over a month ago, and it was actually a state tournament, game 1 of 3. It is the 4-leg tournament, and actually, as of this recording, they just played the second leg of it while I was on vacation a few days ago. So yeah, I'm way behind and I apologize, but I'm trying to fix it. So anyway, this is state tournament game 1 of 3 of the first leg. It is I, Lord Tremendous of the Thousand Suns, versus an old fan of the channel, Jared Epley of the Thousand Suns as well. And he actually called me out. He wanted a piece of daddy, and I'm only too glad to give pieces. I think that's how I want to say that. Anyway, he called me out, wanted to try a Thousand Sun versus Thousand Sun army or a game, and I thought that was a great idea. Love meeting people that are fans of the channel and stuff like that, and this was great all around. This is an intense game, so sit back, relax, and get ready to see how it goes. Here's my list, and there's really no change. A Thousand Suns of Tremendous is pretty much solid list as far as I'm concerned. I have Ahriman as my warlord. He's got the Black Staff of Ahriman, frag and crack grenades, and an Infernal Bolt pistol. I have a sorcerer on a disc. He's got a force sword and a plasma pistol. Really, I just need him for spells. And I've got a unit of 10 Zangors with auto pistols, chained swords, and an instrument of chaos. Followed by 10 Rubric Marines with 8 Infernal Bolters, a Soul Reaper cannon, and the Sorcerer has a Force Staff and an Infernal Bolt pistol. Second unit of Rubric Marines consists of 9 with 8 Warp Flamers, and the Sorcerer has a Force Sword, a Warp Flame pistol, and they're all inside of the Chaos Rhino, which has a Combo Bolter, because it comes with it. My last unit of Rubric Marines consists of 10 with 8 Infernal Bolters, a Soul Reaper cannon, and the Sorcerer has a Force Axe and a Warp Flame pistol. I have a ranged army. I have a unit of 5 Scarab Occult Terminators with 3 Infernal Combo Bolters, 4 Power Swords, a Soul Reaper Cannon, and the Sorcerer has a Force Staff and an Infernal Combo Bolter. Last but certainly not least is my Renegade Knight, Lord Tremendous. He's got a couple of rapid-fire battle cannons, 3 heavy stubbers, and titanic feet. He is Hurt incarnate. I love this model. That's going to do it for my list. I have my opponent's list next. Feel free to pause it whenever you like to see what he took. So, since this is a Major GT, this is Nova Open Rules set. I don't know for Game 1, but it was the Relic. There's 5 objectives on the table. The Relic's in the middle. Infantry can carry it. I chose Primary Mission 2, which allows me to earn points between turns 2 and 5 for every objective that I hold. My opponent chose Objective 1, I believe, making it so that he just earns a bunch of points at the end for every objective that he holds. Using the Nova Open Rules, you have to choose before every game 3 secondary objectives, and mine were Big Game Hunter, which means I have to kill his most expensive unit, Marked for Death, which means I choose a unit and I have to kill it by the end of the game, and I chose his Terminator unit. It's the one with the blue swords, I think. And then Strike, Rank, and File, destroy all enemy troops. Those I think each net you 2 or 3 points each. And then there's this third objective for the Nova Open rules. They're a little convoluted, but whatever. During turns 2 to 5, if you completely kill an enemy unit, you score a point. So you can get 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 points total doing that, I think. And it's nice. It's just a hard thing to remember if you don't have a camera, which not everybody does. It's a weird rule. But anyway, those were the rules that were set up. That's how the tournament ran, and that's how we played the game. And now you know. And here's deployment. Well, as you can see, it was the short edges. I'm on the right side, and Mr. Epley is on the left. And yeah, for the most part, we square off against each other. I do hold back a little bit. I don't want to get too close because he's got 2 Mauler fiends and everything like that. So I do realize I need to do some shooting before he gets a hold of me. But he's got a Helldrake. He's got 2 units of Terminators that are going to be deep striking. While I've only got 1, I'm in a lot of trouble. There's 4 objectives in each of the 4 corners, as well as the relic in the center. I've got my unit of Zangors on the bottom there. I'm going to send them out just to be attacked. I want him to shoot at my Zangors first and foremost. I figure even if he kills them off, whatever, that's the expendable unit. They can have all the fun in the world with that. And if he concentrates his forces on the bottom there to going after the Zangors, that clumps them together. That's awesome. I've got my Rubrics with Ahriman inside the ruins there at the bottom, or the Terrain at the bottom, with Lord Tremendous backing them up. I've got my Warp Flamers inside the Chaos Rhino behind the Terrain in the middle there to just go after whatever is available. And then I've got another unit of Rubrics with the Sorcerer on a Disc behind them to just open fire. He's got a cross into me to do his real damage, so hopefully that works out in my favor. You'll see how it goes. Here's top of 1 after movement, and to be perfectly honest with you, I didn't want to go first. I wanted him to come closer, but it is what it is. But I do what I said I was going to do. Lord Tremendous moves up just a little bit. The Chaos Runner moves up to go up against the building. I'll remove my guys a little bit later. The Zangors come up. They advance because I want this entire army to go after them and nothing else. And then my Terminators come down into the terrain at the top left there just to start putting some damage out in that general area. I thought about going over to the bottom left, but there was no terrain. I wanted the Terminators to have the best save they could get, so I put him over there, and it's going to make him split his forces. I hope that's the plan anyway, and that's it for my movement phase. We go into the shooting phase, and Lord Tremendous opens up on one of the Mauler Fiends, and he does a significant amount of damage, all things considered. He does about 6 or 7 points of damage, and I'll take it. I'll take it. I, was trying to kill the damn thing, but my dice, I think they get a little stage fright when I'm in a new area. Not 100% on that one, but it is what it is. And it took about half damage, so that's better than nothing. And then my Terminator squad opens up on the Rubrics in there and kills 4 of them, which was outstanding. I was very pleased to see that. That's it for my turn, though. So here's bottom of 1 after movement. And it kinda worked. My strategy sorta worked. Not really. I don't know. He did kinda split up his forces. His 2 spawn guys and his Helldrake do fly over to deal with the Terminators in his backfield. Everything else kinda angles towards the Zangors, give or take. So maybe it was good, maybe it wasn't. We'll see. I would have liked to see one of the Mauler Fiends go after the Terminators, but sending his Helldrake over there into 2 spawn, I guess, are better than nothing. He does send up one of his Rubric Marine units towards mine on the top there, and as you can see, everything else comes towards the Zangors, with the exception of his Chaos Cultists, which stay right inside the ruins there because they do have a couple of heavy weapons that have range, and everything else is just there to, hold an objective. That's really it for his movement. In the Psychic phase, his Rubric Sorcerer is able to use Smite on my Terminators and slips a wound through, because there was really nothing I could do to stop it. Then I believe he sends up one of his Mauler Fiends with Warp Time, or something along those lines, and gets him right up there. He advances again, which is gonna hurt. He's rolling out of the box. He gets Prescience off on this unit of Rubric Marines, making it so they get +1 to hit. Not what I wanted to have happen, but nothing of mine is in range to stop him, and I feel dumb. It does, however, finally bite him in the ass, and he rolls boxcars, causing it perils of the warp. His caster only takes a single wound, and it is an HQ choice, so he's got more than 1, which sucks. It is what it is. He took 1 wound, and He continues with his casting. He gets Diabolic Strength off on one of his spawn over here, so if he gets into combat, I'm in a lot of trouble. We go into shooting, and I believe his cultists open up on my Zangors first, dropping 1, which, considering their cultist, was pretty impressive. His Rubric Marines open up, killing 2 more, which is not as impressive considering they had prescience and everything like that. I did roll well for my saves. The Rubric Marines in the middle there open up on the Terminators in the ruins, and although I rolled really well for the Zangor saves, not so much for the Terminators. He gets 2 wounds through murdering a Terminator, which is sad. The Helldrake opens up, and it only gets 1 more wound through. The Terminators are actually doing really good with their armor saves. I'm very pleased with them. And the Helldrake's got, like, the flamethrowers or something like that. So killing 1 is actually really, really good as far as I'm concerned. We go into the assault phase, and both of the spawn go after the Zangors. They do stand and shoot, and it's completely useless. And then they make it in. It's not looking good for the Zangors at all. The spawn and the Helldrake assault the Terminators here. I overwatch when the spawn come in, completely fail to do anything, and everything makes it in. My Terminators are really on my poop list, so I'm actually kind of looking forward to this one. The fight is brutal and one-sided. 2 Terminators die, I do nothing in return because FML. The Zangors at least put up a little bit of a fight and hold their own. I think maybe I lose 1 more, and I don't do anything to the spawn. Life isn't always fair. Forgot to get a picture of this, but the Mauler Fiend did assault my Chaos Rhino, does 5 wounds to it. I obviously do nothing in return, and we sit there because awesome. That brings us to the top of 2 after movement, and there is a little bit. Lord Tremendous moves up to try to deal with the Mauler Fiend that's currently beating up my Chaos Rhino. My Rubric Marines inside the Rhino back off. They leave that fight, or they disembark and go into the ruins, and then I completely forget to move them again. I should have moved them another 5 inches so that their friggin' Warp Flamers would have been useful, but I completely forgot because I'm a total moron. Yes, I said it. Yeah, not thrilled with myself here at all, and I don't even figure out I did it until the shooting phase. That's how stupid I am. Anyway, I lead the Chaos Rhino in combat because if the Mauler Fiend leaves combat, I'm fine with that. I don't want it to do anything else. And I plan on sending Lord Tremendous into it, so if it has any guns, which I don't believe it does, I don't want it to overwatch. Other than that, everything pretty much stays put. My Zangors and my Terminators are dead. I've made my peace with that, and hopefully I can spend time shooting at his guys in the bottom there, killing a bunch of them off before they get a hold of me and wipe me off the table. That's it for my movement. During the magic phase, or psychic phase, sorry, my Rubric Sorcerer does smite on the Terminators and slips a wound onto 1. He felt that, and it is good. Same thing happens over here, only Ahriman doesn't, and it does about 3 wounds to the Mauler Fiend that's currently beating the crap out of my Chaos Rhino. Unfortunately, Ahriman misspeaks one of the vowels and ends up Perils of the Warping on a 12, taking 2 damage. I guess that's pretty good because my first instinct was to use my Rubric Marine first, and he would have blown up, killing a bunch of Rubric Marines. Instead, I got the hopefully only Perils for the turn out of the way, and Ahriman can take it because he's pretty tough. He did not make either of his Warlords 6-up Feel No Pains. We sashay into the shooting phase, and the Rubrics open up on the Terminators, killing 2 of them. I'm very pleased with that, actually. I have no problem with that many wounds getting through on a 2-up, so yeah, that was really awesome. My Renegade Knight opens up and kills the Mauler Fiend across the way over there, which was really, really outstanding. I took a I took a chance, big time actually, and opened up with only 1 rapid-fire battle gun into the Mauler Fiend. The other one opened up on the Terminators, finishing them off dead. Such a pity. No, I was very pleased that gamble paid off. We go into the assault phase, and Lord Tremendous makes it into the Mauler Fiend. It's, kind of an all-for-nothing type of thing. I gotta kill off the Mauler Fiend before he can really get into something important. I know he's gonna break away. I know he's gonna probably kill the Chaos Rhino, but I don't want him to do any of that, so Lord Tremendous is going to try to stomp his little head in with his titanic feet. In the combat over here with the Terminators, the Spawn and the Helldrake have no problem finishing off the last Terminator. He did absolutely nothing. Terminators, the Scarab Occult Terminators at the very least, really aren't very good. Or maybe I'm not very good with them. That's probably closer. They didn't do their little 3-inch consolidation move. The Spawn do anyway. The Helldrake, he decides to leave right where it's at. In combat over here, though, it really does not go my way. I only do a few more wounds to this thing. It's got 6 left, and in return, I take 2 or 3. Really flub my rolls, and I blame society. It is what it is. The Zangors decide to finally lose their spines, which, all things considered, should have happened last combat phase. 4 out of the 5 die. The one that's left, I think, was able to do a wound to one of the spawn, the one on the bottom there, and that's really it. The Zangor were just a speed bump, and it shows. And, of course, in the morale phase, I roll a 6, and the last Zangor runs away, which, again, makes complete sense. That's all that happens in my turn, so here's bottom of 2 after movement, and he's coming for me. The spawn go after the rubrics of his, with his character, start moving forward. Everything's kind of concentrating in the middle, which I totally understand, and his second unit of Terminators come down on the table, on the back right there of the picture. Yeah, it's not looking too good, but at the same time, I'm going to have me some fun and try to take as many of his models off table as I can before he tables me. We'll see what happens. That's the end of his movement. During the psychic phase, he gets Prescience off on his Rubric Marines again, and there was really nothing I could do to stop it. I think he's still either outside of range or he's rolling like 10s and 11s, and I'm just not able to roll higher than he is. Nothing else really happens in the psychic phase, so you go into his shooting phase, and the first thing that happens is that his guys with Prescience open up on my guys with the Warp Flamers that were useless, and 4 of them die because I'm stupid and should have moved them 5 inches so they could have used their Warp Flamers. This is not their fault. I'm a complete moron. The Terminators, not able to shoot anything else, open up on my Rubric Marines and are able to drop 2 of them, which, considering the amount of firepower they just put into them, is not that bad. It should have been a lot worse. Then one of his HQ choices shoots at the Rubric Marines with the Warp Flamers, killing another one, because again, I'm a moron. And then the Helldrake, he farts out some flame into my Rubrics on top of the terrain there and drops 3 of them off the ledge. That hurt a lot more than I thought it was going to. I was really disappointed I took that many wounds. The Rubric Marines on the top there fire my Rubric Marines, dropping another one, which is about average. And then we go into the assault phase. His Terminators make their 9 or 10 inch assault into Ahriman, no problem. He does stand and shoot, but his pistol's no match for Terminator armor. This might suck. His Helldrake comes screaming into Lord Tremendous to try to save a smaller fiend, which I did not see coming, but it was a good call. What can you do? And both of his spawn make it into my rubrics without taking any damage. I'm as stunned as you are. And his HQ choice makes it into my remaining Warp Flamers. They do stand in, or they were going to stand and shoot, but they were all out of range because, again, I was too stupid to move forward. So that's a shame. He makes the charge, and he makes it without taking any lumps. It's painful, really. Real quick here, the Rubrics actually do pretty well. They're able to drop one of the spawn, but 2 of them drop in return. And Ahriman, it's just a big slap and butterfly kiss type of fight between him and the Terminators. So he actually did a lot better than I expected him to do. These fights are recoverable from, so I'm kinda got a little hope here. And then in this combat, I try to split up my attacks a little bit, 6 and 6. The Mauler Fiend ends up taking 2 more wounds because I just don't roll very well. And the Helldrake is down to 7 wounds, so that was pretty impressive. However, the Mauler Fiend devotes all of his attacks into the Chaos Rhino, destroying it. It does not explode. In return, the Helldrake attacks Lord Tremendous, and I don't think he does anything. So really, not the worst combat on this side at all. The combat between the Warp Flamers and the HQ, 1 Warp Flamer dies, and that's it. Really, the combats didn't go as bad as I expected them to. So with a little hope, here's top of 3 after movement, and I decide I've had enough of that fight. Lord Tremendous disengages so he can shoot at the Helldrake and the Mauler Fiend, because damn all that noise. The Rubrics on top with the Disc Sorcerer just kind of stay put. They've got plenty of targets to shoot at, and there's really no reason to move them yet. The Rubrics at the bottom and Ahriman, they're pretty much stuck to their own fate, so they don't have to move. And yeah, I have a quick movement phase. Everything else is dead. Yeah. Like I said, I have hope. I don't really have any realistic expectations. In the psychic phase, my rubric sorcerer being the closest, I'm sorry, my sorcerer on a disc, the closest target to him is the Helldrake, and he's able to do a couple of wounds with Smite to this thing. Smite or Infernal Gaze, one of the two, and that's awesome. I really like it feels like free wounds. I don't know. The psychic phase is really kind of fun. But, yeah, I did it with boxcars, and my Sorcerer on a Disc takes 3 wounds. It's the third perils of the game, 2 of which have been, from me. So, I guess I wanted the roll high, and I'm getting what I want, so it's a double-edged sword, I suppose. My Sorcerer on a Disc throws the Infernal Gaze at the Helldrake now, Smite the first time, and does 2 more wounds to him, puts him down to about 3, which is great. It's looking real good that I'm going to be able to drop this damn Helldrake before the end of the game. The Rubric Sorcerer is able to get Smite off on the Helldrake, putting 1 more wound through on the Helldrake, blah blah, leaving him with 2, which, oh, it's so close! My Rubric Sorcerer over here does Smite, rolls an 11, and does 2 mortal wounds to his HQ choice, which is great. I might actually kill this guy. Maybe, possibly, doubtfully. And then Ahriman does Smite, does 1 wound to a Terminator, and he does it with frickin' boxcars. Again, that's the 4th perils in this game, 3 of which are mine. 3 of which are mine. Thank God Ahriman only takes 1 wound, but holy crap, what's going on, Tzeentch? I thought we were cool. We go into the shooting phase, and I put my rubric shots into the Helldrake, and I'm able to slip 2 wounds through, killing the thing dead. It does not explode. What it does, crash to the ground to become one with its baser elements, which I'm very pleased about. It's good to see the thing dead. And then my Rubric Sorcerer does have an Infernal Bolt pistol, and he uses it on the spawn, and it actually hits, actually wounds, and actually went through. So, awesome. I guess point blank range, you should get a bonus, huh? And then we go into the assault phase. I know what you're asking. Wait, didn't Lord Tremendous shoot? Yeah, he did. 4d6 shots, I got about 8. And I failed to hit. I think I needed 3s. 3s or 4s to hit. Can't remember exactly. Just completely failed. Left, right, and center. It was awful. I don't want to talk about it anymore. So we do assaults, and Lord Tremendous recharges the Mauler Fiend and makes it, no problem, so that's good. And he kills him dead. Just murdered his face, which is always glorious. And now there's no more Mauler Fiends on the table, which is important, because this game is really starting to get ugly. I need to start making some serious headway. In this combat here, the Rubric Marines, just my jaw was on the floor. They killed the spawn. They were able to do 3 wounds to the spawn that went through and killed it. In return, they took one, they took a casualty of their own. But the Rubrics killed a spawn in close combat. I was very proud of that unit because 9 times out of 10, it doesn't do anything. It usually just dies. So, very pleased with my Rubrics in this turn. Combat over here goes more as expected. I lose a Warp Flamer, but in return, I am able to do 1 wound to his HQ, which is outstanding. I really need to kill this guy. And then Ahriman, I don't know exactly how he does this, but he's able to kill 2 of the Terminators. Just face bashes them. I was beside myself with surprise. He's a maniac. Yeah. Wow. That finishes up my turn, but I screwed up. I misplaced my picture at bottom of 3 after movement. Honestly, I think I deleted it, and I've already emptied my recycling bin, so there's no way for me to recover it. So, yes, I apologize. I do not have a picture. I'm dumb. In the Psychic phase, his HQ character was fighting my Warp Flamers. He disengaged to go after Lord Tremendous, which is fine. But he does smite onto, the Rubric Marines right here do smite onto my Warp Flaming Rubric Marines and kills one, no problem. And then it's either the character on the right or the character on the left, I can't remember which, they do their smite and finish off the last of the Warp Flaming Rubric Marines. I really underutilized them in this game, and that was completely my fault. My opponent did exactly what it should have done and capitalized on my huge blunder. That must have been this guy, because he also has a Perils of the Warp on boxcars. He only takes 1 wound, but wow! Why does this keep happening? Usually, if you see two perils in a game, you're like, oh wow, the winds were strong. This is the fifth one. The fifth one in this game. Unbelievable. We go over into a shooting phase, and he opens up with his remaining rubrics, and to my remaining rubrics, dropping 3 of them. I don't think he's shooting my rubrics anymore. I think he's shooting the floor that they're sitting on, and they're falling to their death. That would be very smart. Then we go into the assault phase. Nothing really charges anything, but Ahriman and the Terminator fight, and Ahriman takes the 4th wound, his 4th wound, I believe, and he's able to kill the remaining Terminators, so wow. And that was the Terminator unit I needed to kill in order to get my secondary objective, so that really shouldn't have gone that way, but it did, and I couldn't be happier. And that's where Ahriman ends up after his 3-inch consolidation, so just so that you know where everything's at. And that brings us to top of 4, and I gotta be honest, I'm a little taken aback. I'm not sure exactly what I need to do here. There's not much left on either side, and I've really cleared up more than I thought I was going to be able to. Lord Tremendous just kind of trundles forward a little bit. I'm going to try to take out the HQ choice and the Rubric Marines to the best of my ability. I do still have some of my Rubric Marines on the bottom there with Ahriman, and I'm really kind of hoping I can do some damage and clear out the bottom half, and then the top half I'm hoping to clear off with the remaining Rubric Marines and Sorcerer on a Disc I have up there. And then turn 5, I'm going to try to hold these objectives to the best of my ability. That is it, and that is it for my movement. During the psychic phase, my Sorcerer on a Disc gets smite off on his HQ and finishes him off, which is really, really good. That's huge, because now I can dedicate a lot of Lord Tremendous' shooting directly into the Rubric Marines. And I believe the Rubric Sorcerer over here throws a smite on the Rubric Marines over there, drops another, which is really good. Go into the shooting phase, and it's really unimpressive. The rubrics and everybody fire at the other rubrics, and only one drops. I just couldn't get past their save. Really needed that to be better, but I had a really good phase, really good turn, so I really shouldn't complain. Shooting here is a little bit better, though, because Lord Tremendous is able to open up on the Rubric Marines and finish off 4 of them, and then my other unit of Rubric Marines, I think, are able to finish off the last 2, the ones that are right below Lord Tremendous, which I don't have a picture of, but the unit is gone, I promise, which is huge, because it really gives me a chance to win this game. This brings us to bottom of 4 after movement, and there's not much. The guys up top, the rubrics up top, instead of going after my rubrics on the terrain, go after the relic. They're not able to really move anywhere with it, but one of the infantry does pick it up and kind of moves it just like an inch, not very far at all. His HQ choice, his Ahriman, goes down to the bottom there because he doesn't want me to shoot him or anything like that, and that's really it for his movement. I think he brought his spawn closer to my rubrics on top of the terrain. I don't remember exactly, and his cultists stay exactly where they are. That's it for movement. In his psychic phase, his Rubric Marine Sorcerer guy is able to drop one of my Rubric Marines, which hurts my feelings, I'm not going to lie. And then his Ahriman is able to do Smite on Lord Tremendous and does 3 mortal wounds to him, which really sucks, I'm not going to lie. We go into his shooting phase, and while it is limited, he is able to drop my last Rubric Marine. I've got the Rubric Sorcerer left and the Sorcerer on a Disc. Really not looking good over here. I'm a little nervous. And that brings us to top of 5 after movement. I have to make a decision. I have to get his troops, his infantry guys, his rubrics off the relic as quick as possible. The only way I can do that is to send Lord Tremendous over to him and try to pop him, try to kill him. I move my remaining rubric and my Sorcerer on a Disc over to the relic to hold it. The other rubrics move over to hold the relic on the bottom. Lord Tremendous is going to try to shoot these guys off of his relic, and hopefully, when the dust settles, I'll come off as the victor. That's it for my movement phase. In the psychic phase, my Sorcerer on a Disc is able to do a few wounds to the spawn. Not enough to kill it, but definitely enough to weaken it. My Sorcerer is able to do 1 mortal wound to his Ahriman, which I'll take. He did try to stop it, and I just rolled better than he did. I'll take luck over skill any day. We go into the shooting phase, and Lord Tremendous is able to finish off both the spawn and the remaining rubrics, taking them off the relic, which is super huge and may have just won me the game. I don't know what the hell is wrong with me. I missed the picture of bottom of 5 after movement, so I deleted one. I completely missed taking the other one. In my defense, what little there might be, I was stressed trying to win this game. It was really hard. It was really close, as you could see. I completely forgot I was wearing a camera, so maybe that has something to do with it, but you'd suppose by now I have it figured out. I know I screwed up. I apologize. So his Ahriman moved up and used his psychic abilities to kill my last 2 remaining Rubric Marines, which is fine. Ahriman is still on the objective, but oh crap. He gets prescience off on himself because he's trying to kill my Ahriman now. And while he's not able to shoot me off the table, we go into the assault phase, and because nothing happens in the shooting phase, and he actually makes the charge into Ahriman. I could not believe it. Little devastated, not even gonna lie to you. And yes, his Ahriman is able to just murder my Ahriman. You know, he did really good. He should have been dead when the Terminators got a hold of him, so I really can't complain. But I'm going to. I'm going to throw a little internal hissy fit because, oh man, did that suck. But there it is. There's the end of the game. I have 1 Rubric Marine, Lord Tremendous, and my Sorcerer on a disc. He has his Ahriman and his unit of Cultists. We beat the ever-loving crap out of each other, and this was an amazing, fun game. Really stressful at the end. I was desperately trying to win. He was desperately trying to win. And to be perfectly honest with you, well, you know what? No spoilers. You'll find out in a minute who won because this game is over.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Well, everyone, as you just saw, and if you've seen any of these battle reports, you know for sure, my models look amazing. The army looks amazing. Everything really comes together. And if you know anything about me, you know I had nothing to do with it. At all. I couldn't paint to save my life. Luckily for me, I know a guy named Big Tom from Big Tom Painting, and he paints all my stuff immaculately. It looks amazing. I love fielding my models because he does such an excellent job. So if you have models that need paint, need high quality paint, or you're just embarrassed finally of, having naked models running around, because let's face it, it's indecent. Send him an email, let him know what you got, let him know what you want, and see if you guys can't come to an agreement, because if you send your models to Big Tom, you will not be sorry with what you receive back. It is amazing. So yes, in the end it was actually a victory for Lord Tremendous. I couldn't believe it either. I literally couldn't believe it. I'm sitting there going, there's no way this is right, let's do the points again. I got 14 objective points to his 8. I ended up getting 8 primary objective points for controlling 2 objectives for 4 turns. I got 2 secondary points for completing 2 of my objectives that way, and 4 of the third objectives. My opponent got 3 from primary, 2 from secondary, and 3 from the third way. I don't know how to say that word, it's too big. So yeah, 14 to 8. No friggin' idea how I did that. I was just like, I even said after the game was over that I had lost. I just hope it was close. And he thought so too, until we read the Nova rules. Deciding to take the, what's it called? The second primary objective or whatever, the way to get points, is what actually won me this game. So this was an insane game, to say the least. 5 Perils of the Warp in one game. I did 3 myself, my opponent did 2 on him, but what the hell's going on at this table? That the veil is so thin. Yeah, granted, there was a lot of sorcerers all dedicated to the same god in one very small 4x8, but... or 6? 4x6? Anyway, was not happy. 5 Perils of the Warp was painful. Thousand Sun vs. Thousand Sun was a lot of fun. I can see why people get frustrated with the rubrics now, especially when they're in cover. But, at the same time, they're a really tough unit, and I enjoy them. And clearly, as you saw from this game, they are far from invincible. Lord Tremendous led the way again. That Renegade Knight has won me more games than it's lost me. I just love it. I love it so much. And it really shocked me how well Ahriman could fight, both of them. His taking out mine, he did a lot of hits and wounds, and when I got attacked by the Terminators, I was positive that Ahriman was going to die, and he wrapped them up like they were nothing. Really impressed. Not everything went really well for me, to say the least. I totally and completely wasted my entire unit of Warp Flaming Rubric Marines. Just like a complete idiot. I took them out of the Rhino, moved them 3 inches, and then completely forgot about them. It wasn't until I was in the shooting phase that I realized I forgot to move them. And the crazy part is, my opponent was cool enough to be like, go ahead and move them. I understand, it happens all the time. I'm in the shooting phase. I'm like, not a chance. Not a chance. Really cool that he said that, though. Falling out of love with my Terminators in a big way. They've just been so lackluster in so many games that when they actually do something, it's a surprise. I might swap them out for my Hellbrutes. I kind of miss those guys. I feel like I need more in this army. I like the Rubrics. I like the Renegade Knight, obviously. I like the Zangors. I like my HQs. But the Terminators just don't fit. So I'm thinking that maybe the Hellbrutes are going to come back in. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to toy with the list after this tournament. This is a fantastic game, though. I mean, from start to finish, the fact that it was a challenge, the fact that it was somebody that I've been trying to play for years, it was just a fantastic opponent, a fantastic situation. Really, really enjoyed it. And it was great to finally meet Mr. Eppley finally. I mean, like I said, for a long time we've been trying to get a game in, and it finally happened, and what an epic game, you know what I mean? Looking forward to the rematch in the third leg of this state tournament, because there was no way I was making it into the second one, because I was going to be at Disneyland. And as of this recording, I just got back the other day, so... I'm way behind, like I said in the beginning, but I'm trying to catch up, and this was a great game to come back to. Really hope you enjoy it. That's going to do it, guys and gals. That's it for Battle Report number 23. It's officially in the history books. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. But yeah, guys, thanks.